Every once in a while, curiosity just happens to get the better of me, you know? I look at my games library and I just scan my eyes across Battlefield 2042 from time to time, and I find myself wondering, I wonder what's happening with that train wreck. Just so happened that Season 2, called Master of Arms, has just recently dropped, so what the hell? G'day there once again viewers, your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today we're going to take stock of the state of Battlefield 2042 10 months after its release, and why this game just continues to be a shell of what it could have been. So just getting straight into things here, since we last looked at this game, there's been 2 quote-unquote seasons worth of content released to the game as part of the post-release plan for the game. So starting to get a bit of an idea as to what the quality and quantity of the post-release content is going to look like for this game in the long run. You know, it gives us a feeler as to what the vibe is like, especially for those who paid for the higher end editions of the game and technically paid for 4 seasons worth of content in advance. And I gotta be real with you all, the vibe, if you will, is fucking dead in the water. We are approaching 10 months into Battlefield 2042's post-release life cycle, and you want to know what quote-unquote new content we have received in that time between the 2 seasons that have come out so far. In short, it's 2 new maps, 5 new weapons for All Out Warfare, 2 new vehicles for All Out Warfare, 2 new specialists, and 1 new gadget. That is it. And look, we've seen some additional rules and weapons come to the Portal mode, and a few of the Portal weapons have made their way into the All Out Warfare mode. But all of this quote-unquote new content just feels half-assed at best. I really don't know how else to say it here, guys. To me, it just feels clear as day that this game is currently in life support mode while the developers sort of trudge their way through the content that they're obligated to deliver via the season passes that were sold to players at launch via those gold and ultimate editions of the game. Hell, even the Portal weapon integration feels half-assed because all you have to do to unlock these weapons are some really basic assignments, and then boom, all of the attachments for those weapons are immediately unlocked as well. There is zero progression when it comes to using them at all. Not even any integration with the Battlefield 2042 attachment system, just the attachments from their respective base games sort of thrown into the Plus system aggressively to try and just mesh it into the gameplay loop that they've created for the base game Battlefield 2042. Like, it just sort of feels as though DICE has heard the complaints about Season 1 having just too little content in the weaponry department, so they just ported some weapons across to try and fill that void using old models and assets with the least amount of effort possible when it comes to integrating it with, you know, the attachment system properly in the game. And to me, it makes me wonder, why is it taking so long to get the Portal weapons into the base game in the first place then? If you're not even worrying about integrating the current attachment options onto the new weapons, and all you have to do is some basic statistics changes to, you know, make the Portal weapons fit into the balance of the core game, I mean, I really don't get why it's taking them so long. But anyway, before anyone says it, because I know it's coming, I get it. There's additional map changes coming to the existing maps already, and the devs have also announced some changes to the specialists in the game to integrate them into a, you guessed it, class system, which is great. Those aspects of the game clearly needed some attention, and while the specialist system at its core didn't bother me as much as it bothered others, it was clearly far from perfect and was nowhere near close to being executed to the standard it needed to be in order to replace the tried and true class system. But anyway, looping back, it's great to see that these great big gaping holes in the experience are being fixed, but these are core gameplay issues. Your map design, being the thing that is meant to house all of your player interactions in the game, and your player loadout and class design, being the thing that is meant to manage your player interactions in your game. Nonetheless, a multiplayer game where there is no single player component, and therefore the setting and the way in which these interactions take place is the core of your game design. These are not things that you should be having to redesign 10 months down the track into your post-release game cycle. These should be things that are sorted out 10 months into your development cycle, your pre-announcement development cycle nonetheless. You know, when the design philosophy of the game and those elements are concreted in. And the fact that things like that are so core to the gameplay loop of your entire game are changing so late into the post-release development cycle is a concerning trend that we've seen from the Battlefield series as of late. In Battlefield 5, a game that I admittedly skipped out on entirely, I still remember the ongoing drama that was the elusive blanket time to kill changes that the developers made with what, as I remember, a decent way into the game's post-release cycle, and then those changes were seemingly reverted months later due to outraging community feedback. I'm all for balancing a game if you spot outliers in weapon performance stats, but I know for many it felt like a situation where the DICE developers just said, hey, I think we should mess with a key core part of the gameplay experience today. And when you do that late into a game's lifestyle, to me it demonstrates a weak core gameplay design and a weak confidence in your core gameplay design. And here we are again with Battlefield 2042, only this time around, they released the game with such a misguided and weak core gameplay design here, to the point where their maps released quite frankly half-assed, and their specialist system, which was controversial as it is already, being a weak format as well. And now all the damage has been done to the franchise, and well, the player stats show that. The point I'm making here, guys, is that clearly the amount of content that has been coming out in the post-development cycle for this game has been affected by the amount of backstepping DICE has had to do and fixing of core gameplay problems that, well, just should never have released in the game in the first place. And looping back to the content for a second here. 10 months later, and we've only received the content that is displayed for you on screen here. And without forgetting how little there was at launch, that's pretty shocking, especially when you compare what we got in previous titles. 10 months into Battlefield 3's life cycle, we had 20 new weapons, 8 new maps, 3 new vehicles, and a whole new game mode. In Battlefield 4, we had 4 whole-ass expansion packs come out for the game in that time. The thing that pisses me off most about all of this is that I bought into this game with the Gold Edition at the prospect of getting some cool shit as the game progressed through its life cycle. I effectively did the same thing with Battlefield 3 and 4 via the premium services, which, for those who are out of the loop, was essentially a discounted bundle that gave you access to all upcoming major DLC packs without you having to buy them individually. If you look at the amount I spent on the premium services and the Battlefield 2042 Gold Edition, it cost me around the same amount. The difference, though, is that I'm being stitched up with a fraction of the content by comparison to what my money would have bought me all those years ago. And that, to me, is criminal. I'm not going to sit here and say that if you're enjoying Battlefield 2042, then you should stop enjoying it, because it's your money, and I'm glad that you're able to find some value in your hard-earned money. But by the same token, I really think we gamers and the wider gaming community need to start holding these developers accountable and really bringing our standards back up for games. Battlefield 2042 and the way it released, and the expectations that gamers will accept mediocrity from developers and publishers, is a trend that needs to stop if we want to see our favorite franchises that we love crawl their way out of this pit of mediocrity. Why are gamers being forced to pay the same amount for less content? Because that's exactly what's happening here. And you know what? I know this is going to come off as ranty, and I do apologize for that, gang. I do. I like being positive about the games that I enjoy more than anything, especially about games and franchises that are special to me. Battlefield is one of those titles that got me into first-person shooter gaming in the first place, and it's the sole reason I got into PC gaming all those years ago. Without Battlefield 3 and the success that that game was, I wouldn't be here today, playing PC first-person shooter games at all. Hell, if you want to go even further, my YouTube channel probably wouldn't be where it is today without Battlefield 3. You want to know why? Because Battlefield 3 introduced me to the clan that introduced me to Planetside 2. So, when I see a franchise I love so much go down this direction and through the shit, it hurts to see. It really does. So, to anyone who comes into the comments here and says, mate, you aren't even enjoying the game, just shut up and stop whinging about it and let us enjoy it. No, fuck that and get fucked. I make videos like this because I care. I want to love the game again. And when you have this many glaring issues at launch to the point where it puts you this far into the life cycle and you need complete design overhauls to fix your game, yeah, I think accepting that this is normal is an opportunity for us to reflect as a community community and maybe raise our standards a little more once again. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about jumping into Battlefield 2042, then I really can't suggest buying this game at full price. If it's on a stupidly good deal, and I mean, you know, down into the sub $20 category, maybe it's worth your time. But before that, nah, no chance. I still think that this is far from worth your time at this stage, and well, I really don't see any light at the end of the tunnel for Battlefield given the kinds of redesigns they have to be doing this late on and how it's affecting the content diversity available in this game. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what your thoughts are on Battlefield 2042. You obviously know mine, so let me know if our views align, and if they don't, well, tell me why. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to backhand the like button. It does go a long way to supporting the channel. That dislike button also works well if you just, you know, disagree with everything I had to say here. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, as we do a lot of content here, and we also live stream as well. So live streams directly here on YouTube keeps things a bit easier for you guys in catching us live. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.